which is the part of the evening that I'm just going to sort of take to chill out with my evening and meet a few guests and friends and share some stories, see what they've been up to during the day. Hopefully, they've got some pictures, maybe some images, and just some thoughts ready to share back with me. And I'm looking forward to finding out what they've been up to. So I hope you've been having a good day today. The weather's been really, it's getting quite warm actually, which is nice. For the first time, it feels like maybe summer is getting on the way. As so that's quite exciting as well. Sort of been geeing me along a little bit. I thought I'd start this evening by sharing, as I have done this week, an image with you. And this first image is a picture that was taken. I think it was on my summer holidays. I'm getting ahead of myself, obviously. Summer. I know it's only April and Easter, but summer's on the way. Come on, let's be positive and think about it. This was taken on my summer holidays a couple of years back, and this was at Land's End, and I thought I'd share it because this was I've been doing talking about landscape photography a little bit this week. There's something about landscape photography which is great because you really have to chill out, and there is nothing more that you can do with it other than really kind of be at one with nature. It's a very relaxing thing to do. So I think this shot was, I think it took 120 seconds on exposure to take, which is why the sea is then all smoothed out and calm. And to be able to do that, yeah, you have to really, you can't rush it at all. And that's what I kind of feel like we should be doing a bit in the evenings now, not rushing, not kind of getting carried away at all, just sort of chilling out and finding out what's been going on. So I'm going to jump across and say hi to Peter. Peter, how are you doing today? What have you been up to during the day?
Editing a video, what I do most days. Tomorrow morning, my last 10-minute tale is going live at 7 o'clock in the morning. Be there, be square. And then once you've looked at that, then you can forget all about them and not ever have to look at them again. Although you can do, because they're all on YouTube. 20 of them.
Oh, 20. That's quite an achievement, actually, Peter, to do that. 20.
It's an amazing achievement, I think. 20 stories in 20 weeks. So, but I mean, there it is. That's
how easy has it been to keep going? Have there been any periods when it's been more difficult than others to keep that going?
Yes, episode 13. What happened when I started out, I got really good at it, and I was writing one. I had one in edit and one in the can ready to go. So I was like a fortnight ahead all the time until I got to episode 13. For some reason, it wouldn't go, and I didn't get it. I didn't get it loaded up until about 10 minutes before the actual going live thing. And since then, it's been a bit of a struggle. Kind of run out of ideas. It gets a bit difficult to keep going. However, you plug at it like a job.
Yeah, I think there's something to be said about that, isn't there? Because I've heard quite often people have told me, "Oh, I'm not in the right frame to write today," or "I'm not. I don't. Do you know what? I'm not feeling like I want to play today." And you think, well, I know there's such thing as writer's block and all of that, but the professionals in the world. If Hans Zimmer said, I just don't fancy writing the score for the next film now. I don't think that would really go down very well.
There is one sure way of overcoming writer's block, and I mentor quite a few young writers, and writer's block is a genuine thing. It is something where you just can't move forward, and there is only one solution to it, and you just have to sit down at the typewriter or your keyboard and just do it. And you have to, and the trick is just to do it, and don't worry about the quality or the rightness of it, because as soon as your fingers start moving over the keys, bit by bit, the creativity comes out, and you might have to get rid of a whole morning's worth of work, but at least you've got into it and progressed it. And I'm a great believer because I've been writing stories and plays for 50 years now. I know that sounds difficult to believe because you also I was in my mid-30s, but having written for 50 years, you just you do trust yourself to do the work. You wouldn't ever take on a commission if you didn't think that actually you've got the tools and the capacity to actually do it. And I think it's the same. I think it's, one of the great things of the lockdown at the moment is that everybody is so bored that there's this huge wave of creativity coming out of people. And some of it is mad and some of it is, well, it's all mad and it's all crazy, but it's creativity. People are creating and people are doing it. And it's like this you're doing here, Richard, you're kind of doing it. And had we not had lockdown, would you be doing this stream?
Well, I think absolutely not. I think that's definitely the answer, Peter. Yeah, but you're absolutely right. No, without this situation that we're in, no, we would have been doing something different. We had something completely different planned for these coming weeks. So, that's how it goes, isn't it?
Exactly. It's brilliant. I mean, it's not brilliant, but I mean, from that point of view, it's brilliant. It's kind of, I mean, we've spoken about this before, about the bizarre thing that we spend longer talking to people than we would do in previous lives. We're actually sitting down and talking to people, even be it that it's on through a webcam, but we're still I think it's the same with the creativity. I think we're being forced, encouraged to be creative, and what a great flowering that will provide. Suddenly out of this will come, it becomes out of adversity. A lot of creativity comes out of adversity. I'm not saying you have to suffer for your art. I don't believe you have to suffer. I'm a great believer that it's much easier to write or to compose or whatever if you've got a full stomach and you can get a night's sleep. And, the idea of suffering for your art is nonsense, because all suffering does is make you crawl away into a corner and curl up. But with a certain amount of stopping you doing what you would have been doing, suddenly your creative urges come out in different ways.
Absolutely. No, I fully agree. I've got a final question for you, actually, Peter, because I'm intrigued, because this is you touched on this just a minute ago. At what stage do you consider your story finished and ready to go out?
When it's time to upload it.
Oh, right. Fair enough. That was a valid answer.
No, absolutely. And it's the same, with writing to a commission. It's finished when you run out of time, and you have strategies for dealing with that. In other words, because I always think, what happened if I fell ill before I could finish this? So you kind of do it. What I do with a project is you kind of sketch it out, then you fill in bits of it, and you fill in bits of it, so at any one time, if you had to stop at that point, there would still be something there. So kind of make something and then progress it over the time you've got, and be prepared to stop at any one moment. That's the same. Journalists, journalists in newspapers, when they write for a newspaper, you get the story in the first paragraph. and you then fill in details, because quite often your story will be cut and the editor will cut it from the end upwards. So as long as you've got the thing at the beginning, then your story will still work. It will
Yeah, sure, that makes complete sense.
So it's the same with any project. Make sure there's something there on day one, so that if you fall over and get run over or something, there's something there that can be delivered, or somebody can carry it on. I'm a great believer in expecting to be run over by a tram at any moment. I think it kind of.
I know that in your part of the world, Peter, if that was to happen, I'd be gobsmacked by a tram. But I know what you mean.
No, it's a saying. Kind of. But I always think of that. What happens if? Well, you never know. You never know what might come. There's an old Native American custom where you say you should always imagine that death is sitting on your shoulder, and he can turn to you at any moment and say, "That's it." You've got to be prepared for that. So,
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think it's a good way to live and to organise things anyway. I think that's a really good thing. I mean, talking of Native American things, we talked about the pink moon yesterday, and I said how disappointed I was at the fact it wasn't pink. Well, today, Peter, I can tell you that we do have something definitely pink in store for us all, and because today, well, actually, I'm not going to spoil the surprise. I wonder if I can jump over to Stephanie and she can tell us a bit more about what is pink today. And why? What have you got on your head?
Well, they don't just come in pink.
Oh, but pink is their colour, surely.
Well, National Unicorn Day today. Hence why I've got my Primark headdress on. I think you bought that for me, actually. So
I don't think that there is no way that I ever bought anything looking like that at all.
Oh,
ever.
You did.
I know, I've got witnesses. So who came up with National Unicorn Day, and what are we celebrating?
I have no idea. But one of my pupils emailed me today. Well, actually, it was her mum. Her and her sister emailed me in big pink writing, "Happy Unicorn Day." And I was like, no way, that can't be a real thing. So I Googled it, and it is in fact actually National Unicorn Day. So obviously I emailed them back, "Happy Unicorn Day" too.
Brilliant. So in the future, I mean, is this based on the moon? Is it like an Easter festival, or is it definitely the 9th of April every year?
9th of April every year is National Unicorn Day.
Right. I'll put it in the diary next year.
I mean, like, I've always liked unicorns, but I had no idea.
Well, speaking of unicorns then and mythical creatures, that's going to give us a hint in. I thought we'd jump across and play a little game this evening and return to our feature, Guess the Picture. So taking the idea of unicorns, and in no way is that a practical hint, I thought I would launch into this feature. So this is another round of Guess That Picture. Brilliant. So I'm just going to find the first image on Guess That Picture, and here it is. This
unicorn.
It does have a unicorn in it, Peter. But no, unfortunately, you're not complete. Sorry, what was that, Sam?
A pregnant unicorn.
A pregnant unicorn. Very close. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. I might give you a bit more of a hint. I reckon Toby might recognise this, but you never know. Any further clues? It's pregnant was actually the correct letter at the beginning of it.
Oh, is it soft?
In real life, I believe it would be very soft, but might give me away the.
Why would Toby know about it? What?
Toby loves the unicorn.
Is Toby a great unicorn expert? Has he got one in his bag?
It was my birthday present one year from Richard, and that was it.
I'm going to zoom out a little bit more and see if you, I mean, that must give it away, Sam. I'm sure Sam will recognise it from that.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, I can describe it with a multitude of words. However, I don't know if there is a word which already exists.
There is.
Yeah. Okay. Is it a name, like an affectionate name, or is it a descriptive?
I think you can just describe it, Sam, and then I'll reveal all.
Okay. The first part of it is a panda. The second part is a unicorn horn, and I think the third part would be a balloon.
Shall I zoom out and reveal the entire? This is a panda dressed as a unicorn going to a party. There you go, Peter.
Wow.
Grief. That's a grotesquerie, isn't it?
Thank you. That was my birthday present.
There you go. Well, happy Unicorn Day, Stephanie. So,
what noise does a unicorn make? I'm
Probably
putting
like a horse. Like a horse. I reckon they just.
Well, so speaking of mythical creatures, here's the second image I've got for you today. See if you can guess what this is.
Pokemon.
Pokemon. That's not such a bad guess. But it's not a Pokemon. It's not. It's more Swedish, I think, is the Scandinavian.
Troll.
That's not. No, that was another good guess, actually, Peter. It's not a troll. I'm going to zoom out a little.
All my guesses are good guesses. That clearly.
Ooh. Blob.
Now, if you do follow your Scandinavian furniture shopping stores, you might know this. So, no Googling.
Yeah.
I can see him. He's off to Google, isn't he? Shall I zoom out a little bit more?
Frog dinosaur. A frog dinosaur. Ooh.
Any more guesses? I can say hi to Paul actually today. Paul, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Brilliant. What do you think this picture could be?
Frog, it's me.
It does look very much like a frog, doesn't it? But it's not actually a frog. It's much more mythical than a frog.
No.
I tell you what, I will reveal all. Now, in this Swedish, there we go. It's actually a hippocroc. And every year in IKEA, the Scandinavian super furniture store, they get children to send in drawings of animals, and what they do is they create these Sagoscat ranges of the animals and then turn them into cuddly toys. And every year, Stephanie and I are there right on the day of release, waiting for our Sagoscats. And this was a couple of years back. The hippocroc was the star turn. So finally tonight, then I've got one final picture for you.
I'm really worried about what's coming next. We've had a
panda corn.
Panda corn.
Makes you think what's in our house, doesn't it? Really.
It really.
Okay, so finally tonight, what is this?
Oh my God.
Oh. It's like a Henry Hoover, but inverted.
Yeah, what's the green Henry Hoover? I think it sucks up
George.
George.
George Norman. No, Norman.
That's the grilling machine. The lean green. The lean
Oh,
green
yes.
grilling machine. Shall I zoom out a little bit?
definitely an eye. Oh,
Oh,
looks like a beluga whale.
A beluga whale. That's no. It's not. That's not close.
Or a neck pillow.
It's not a neck pillow. No.
is it another mythical creature?
It is a mythical creature, and I mean, it would be very much in keeping with the day that we are celebrating today.
It's a unicorn.
It is a unicorn. Of course, it is.
Oh,
It's an illuminated unicorn.
Oh my goodness!
a unicorn.
An illumicorn.
Really?
That was another gift. I didn't buy everything I give you. You were
Dear,
buying from me. I mean, like this one. It nods all day long. This was a Christmas present. It's a unicorn. And notice you're sitting here in the front.
Yeah.
Nods all day long. If it's sunny, and all you hear is this sort of tapping noise. It's quite cute though.
Well, brilliant.
Yeah, can't keep up with you people.
So yeah. So that concludes our stunning feature, which is guess that picture.
All right. I can just come up with something on that, Richard. I've actually got 10 magical facts about unicorns here.
Brilliant. Let's go across to Peter then for 10 magical facts about unicorns. That sounds fantastic.
Well, I won't give you all 10 because they're
Come on.
prestigious. But, it's according to the Greek historian Ctesias, who wrote in the 5th century BCE, the colours of a unicorn are white body, purple head, blue eyes, and a multicoloured horn, red at the tip, black in the middle, and white at the base. So there you are. There's the definitive unicorn colours.
All right. I wouldn't have thought of black being in the horn, but okay.
Well, I'm sorry. That's Ctesias said that in the 5th century BCE. So
Must be right.
he's
then.
older than any of us, even me.
He must know.
He must know, yes. So they're not actually pink.
They're not. Well, that's a big disappointment to me again. I mean, every time we go for some pink entity this week, it's been disappointingly not pink. So maybe as we start next week, we could maybe find something that is pink, and I could share that out. So the theme of our next Behind the Piano is definitely going to be pink, whatever it is. I thought I would share a quick image as well, and another one which I quite like, because again, we've been talking about sort of the weather getting better and looking forward to the Easter weekend very much. Although obviously we can't go out this weekend, please do stay at home, is the official line. I thought I would share this image, which I took a couple of years ago at a place called Devil's Dyke. And this is the largest. Actually, I could ask Stephanie about this. I think you might know. It's the largest valley or dry valley in the UK, I believe.
Yeah, I think it's the deepest dry valley. I think.
Is it?
It's in the Sussex Downs, isn't it?
It is. It's a stunning location, and just happened to have this stone plinth that I could stand on and take the photo.
I believe I took that photo.
I think you did actually, yeah.
Because you're standing on the plinth.
Although yesterday I stole your photo of the tree. This time, this was definitely my photo. This is what I imagine this one.
Yeah, I got the same photo of you of the tree because I took it, and then you were like, "Oh, that's a good idea."
But
no, that set it up, but I did take it.
Yeah. So there you go. That's Devil's Dyke in the Sussex Downs, which in the summer let's hope to go back to and see again. So that's another picture that I thought I'd share out tonight. I'm going to cut across to Paul because I've got something else that I'd actually like to share with you tonight. Paul,
Yeah.
we've had some quite sad news this week. Well, I say quite sad. It's actually very sad news, and I thought I would just come across to you because it was worth taking a moment out of the evening tonight just to talk a bit about Tony Gatwood, who was a friend of both of ours and a member of our church choir. And Tony sadly passed away on Tuesday, and yes, that's an extremely sad moment, and I just thought it was worth actually showing what Paul had done to commemorate Tony, and just maybe asking you a bit about this. I can bring up a picture, and for those of you that don't know, Tony sang in our church choir for over 40 years. Was hugely supportive of all sorts of music that we did. Very dear friend of mine, and in turn of Paul's as well. So it's a really great loss actually this week. And we were very sad to learn that he'd passed away. So our thoughts and prayers do go out to Tony's family, to his wife Eileen, and also to his wider family. In time, now, I mean, Tony was a massive choral fan of all things singing, and in time, I'm sure that we will come to do a celebration of Tony in time. But I thought I'd share this picture when I can find it, that Paul has sent over, and this is a picture that you've made, Paul, isn't it, of Tony? And I thought I'd share that out. Would you like to tell us a bit about your memories of Tony?
My memories of Tony is that I sing in the choir with Tony many times. You know, he loved evensong. And also, if you know about it, if you didn't sing the right hymns in the right places. Because he was the type of person that he would tell you no certain terms. But he was a great friend to me. And he surfaced me and helped me through on the bass side in the choir. And also, I seen him, the last time I saw him was at the lunch club we have in St. Peter's back in November last year. That was the very last time I saw him. And he was in a wheelchair at the time, and he said to me he missed the choir, but he said he can't come anymore because he couldn't stand. But now I heard, like I said yesterday, he's now gone to a better place where he can't be in suffering anymore. So I'm a bit upset, like all the rest of the people in St. Peter's choir is, because he is a role model to all. In the many years that he has sung, either in the chorus of society, because he not only St. Peter's, he was with the Barclays Choir as well. Also, all the competitions that he's attending, and also, like I said, there is one heart song he always loved to sing, and it was the 76 trombones. I think he did that one. Concert we done. I think a nice way to say at the end of this is that he is singing his 76 trombones to God, where he is now, and I think it's a befitting tribute to him. And like Richard said, I think it's nice to remember someone like him, because everyone looked up to him to make sure everything was being sung right. The younger ones to the older ones, including Roger and all the rest of them. If they didn't hear him sing, then we must be wrong in the right places. He influenced me, if you like he has done with the rest of them. I'm not all of us in St. Peter's is going to miss him, because he always tried to make all the services that he could up until September of last year. And I said, I thought I made this fitting tribute to him because, on the table I got here, because I got Eileen's email address, which I've just sent her an email saying how sorry we are all about it. And I think like I said, he is going to be missed. And when all this coronavirus is finished, we ought to dedicate the first service to Tony.
Yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely right, and I'm sure we will do. I'll make sure that we do. I'm sure that will definitely happen. Like I said, out of context, if you don't know Tony, Tony was such a wonderfully kind person. Was a super supportive friend of all the music that we did at St. Peter's. And yeah, we will really miss him. It's a very sad time for us, which is why I thought it was fitting to sort of do something on the evening live stream tonight about it.
Yeah, like I said, also, it's he did not have a crossword about anyone. He loved his life. He loved all his children, and also his friends as well. Because he had quite a few of them. But now he like I said, he is now at rest, which I think is a nice place for him. And also, he's gone before Easter, which fits in very well to the weekend we've just coming up, Easter weekend, because he loved Easter. And he's gone with it.
Yeah, definitely. Which is something. We should probably point out that today is Maundy Thursday as we lead up to the Easter weekend. It's weird that it doesn't really feel like an Easter weekend at the moment, Paul. We were saying, normally we'd all be on holiday and it would be fantastic and the sun would be out and we'd all be going out, but obviously it doesn't quite feel like that at the moment, so it's a very strange time, just to sort of highlight that. But Paul, thank you very much for those kind words. I'm really glad that you were able to say that, because I will forward that on to the rest of the choir, and probably to Eileen as well if I can get hold of her.
Hopefully this coming Sunday I shall leave that photograph on the table, so then we can bring him into the service on Sunday.
Yeah, I think that would be lovely.
I still got it here.
Brilliant. Yeah, so well, thank you very much, Paul, for sharing that. And I think it's definitely worth dedicating out to Tony, because, like I said, he was such a wonderful man, really. But on that note, I think we're almost coming to the end of our stream tonight. So what I thought I would do then is I thought I would just play some piano music as I normally do towards the end of the stream. And tonight I've got some nighttime shots of Poole Harbour that I was able to capture last night. So I've been collating those, and I thought I'd just play some gentle music out this evening as we go on through that. So this is Nighttime in Poole Harbour. Thank you very much for joining me on that journey across Poole Harbour at night time there. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to say goodbye to my friends and guests on the show tonight. It's been a pleasure to speak to you. We've covered a right range of topics tonight. It's been really fascinating. I've really enjoyed speaking to Peter and celebrating Unicorn Day with everybody. That's been wasn't something I was expecting to do this morning, I'll be honest. But you have you've led me down the path, and I've ended up there. And Sam is you need a bit more grease in that, Sam. I'll be honest. But a huge thank you to all my guests. We are not going to be streaming out tomorrow behind the piano. Tomorrow, I'm going to invite you to join me on the balcony, where I'll be doing some electronic dance music, and again we'll be combining all sorts of drone shots from the last couple of weeks into one immersive performance for you. So do join me. I believe that's at 7:00 on the live stream. Look forward very much to seeing you there and experiencing something different, getting outside and partying, if you will, into the weekend. I'll look forward to that. But from me here, I'm Richard. I've really enjoyed tonight. Thank you to everybody who's taken part, and especially to our producer Toby, who's made everything happen tonight. So much obliged, guys. See you soon. Have a fantastic Easter weekend. Cheers.